Hello, I'm June from Boise State. Today, I will share how intent manipulation can systematically bypass intent-level moderation guardrails in LLMs. One-sentence takeaway: reframing command-like requests into seemingly academic, declarative language markedly increases the pass rate. We propose a two-stage framework, IntentPrompt, and evaluate it across multiple benchmarks, models, and defenses. Why does this matter? Modern LLMs moderate not only by content, but also by intent. For the same semantics, a declarative, research-sounding paraphrase is more likely to pass. Our question, then, is when and how this rephrasing undermines guardrails in practice. The diagram on this slide contrasts a direct, command-like query, which is typically blocked, with a pipeline that first rewrites the target into a research-style statement and then elaborates on it. That sequence tends to pass. Let me walk you through the agentic loop. Our agentic framework consists of a two-stage loop. In stage 1, an auxiliary agent turns the original inquiry into a structured outline. This stage intentionally defocuses intent salience and imposes a declarative structure. In stage 2, we expand the outline into a declarative paragraph that reads like research-oriented text, not a command. This yields the intent-spun prompt that we inject into the victim model. We further use a monitoring agent to judge jailbreak success, and a coarse harmfulness score based on the response from the victim model. If it fails, we iteratively optimize the prompts, like revising the outline, and repeat the jailbreak up to T rounds. The key idea is that we vary the expression of intent without exposing operational details, so we can systematically test how guardrails react to intent-aware phrasing across models and defenses. Before presenting our results, we first share the experimental setup. We validate our framework targeting various state-of-the-art victim models across 4 public jailbreak benchmarks by 3 metrics: jailbreak success rate, harmfulness score, and the maximum iterations to success. We set the maximum iteration number to 5. This setup makes agents swappable and results comparable. Our first key finding is that introducing fuzzy intent substantially increases the success rate, with harmfulness scores trending similarly, regardless of ordinary paraphrasing, like changing sentence structure or expression style and replacing sensitive words. This indicates the guardrails are indeed sensitive to intent features rather than merely surface content. This result provides evidence for implicit intent detection in guardrails. Next, we compare direct obfuscation with our two-stage approach targeting GPT-4o across 4 benchmarks. OBF denotes that we revise inquiries with fuzzy intent. STR denotes that we structure the inquiry into an outline using an auxiliary model. ELA denotes that we elaborate the outline into a detailed statement on the injected prompts to the victim model. The results show that our method achieves higher success with fewer iterations. Why? A structured, declarative narrative tends to be interpreted as analytical or research-oriented and is therefore allowed more often. This also echoes a broader bias we observe: imperative phrasing triggers blocking more frequently than declarative phrasing. Practically, this means our method is not just more effective, it is also more time efficient. We conduct ablation studies to examine the COT-based defense in the O1 model. Building upon our variant evaluated in the previous slide, we introduce an enhanced one, specifically designed for reasoning models. When we enable a COT-based defense, as in O1, the vanilla variant slows down, its success drops, and it needs more rounds. Our enhanced variant remedies this by combining fuzzy structuration with an academic intent spin. Under COT-based moderation, this pairing restores high success while keeping the iteration count low. There is a slight reduction in harmfulness scores because the very point of the method is to dilute intent salience. But overall, the bypass effectiveness improves in this guarded setting. We also examine cross-model generalization on several popular LLMs. Our method performs stably on most victim models, suggesting that the technique isn't tied to a single vendor. We observe 2 patterns that stand out in English settings. DeepSeek models are typically easier to bypass, whereas Claude 3, 7, and O3 Mini resist more strongly. We argue that these differences likely reflect provider-specific alignment choices. Even so, the overall picture remains consistent. High success with relatively few rounds. Finally, we compare our two variants against black box jailbreak, competing methods using GPT-4o as a victim model while turning on intent analysis. Many content-level jailbreaks degrade sharply once IA is enabled, but our method maintains a high success rate. It leads both with IA off and with IA on, indicating that intent-level spinning and declarative packaging are effective levers against intent-aware defenses themselves. To conclude, two messages. First, intent manipulation exposes a structural weakness in intent-aware moderation. Second, our framework generalizes across models and defenses rather than relying on one system. However, our work has limits. First, API latency and rate constraints may weaken the efficiency. Second, if the intent-level moderation is strengthened, general academic writing may be misidentified as attacks. Looking forward, we advocate a second-pass intent review for borderline cases and the exploration of reinforcement learning techniques for prompt optimization. We have released our source code in the GitHub repo, where you can find it by scanning the QR code in this slide. Thank you for your attention. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions.